Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to shed light on the core module of our application. Without further ado, let's jump right in. Choose the Pocket Goods folder, hit File, New, Package. I have tried before to create a module under core, but I think it's a reserved namespace. Therefore, let's rename it to App or Core App and make sure to put it inside the Pocket Goods parent folder. All right, so we have to add this one to Pocket Goods and create. As simple as this. What I would like to do here, I want to add the minimum platform iOS version. The 15 version of the iOS has good functionalities and good stuff. I'm going to use it as the minimum version. As far as the dependencies go, we need Swingex for dependency injection as well as GRDB for caching. Why I choose GRDB instead of core data from Swift? For one simple reason, it has some similarities actually compared to Roam database. All right. So let's install the first package. Choose core app, add the package dependencies, and I have already used Swingex in multiple projects, so I have pinned this as recently used. If you don't have this under the list, just type here Swingex. It's going to be available. Choose Swingex and add the package, and you are good to go. The next one is not available actually, unfortunately, under the list. We're going to do that programmatically. So by doing this, I'm going to add the Swingex package as well as GRDB. By the time I'm recording this video, this is the last version of Swingex, and this is the last version of GRDB. And we have to use them here by doing dependencies. And for Swingex, just the name. But for GRDB, you need to specify the name and the package name. To make sure it's been correctly installed, I think it has been done automatically here. Option and S if it's not installed. Under core app, sources, core app. Let's delete this file because we don't need it. And let's structure our module. Under the core app, create here a new folder for dependency injection. Another one for data layer. Another one for domain and for util. This is basically the same thing that we have done under the Kotlin version of Pocket Goods. We're just going to do it in the Swift flavored approach. Just start from data. A lot of things that we have to deal with. I'm going to create here another folder or another package. It's going to contain the database as well as the relationships and the entities. Another one for mapper, the remote, contain the DTO. Let's start by defining the DTO. Let's create another package or another folder. Let's call it DTO. And let's create the first DTO, which is basically the image DTO. In order to create a DTO in Swift, it's very simple. It's going to be represented by a structure. It's going to be public. Why we have done the keyword public? Because if you don't do keyword public here or the accessor public, you're not going to be able basically to access this image from outside the core module. All right. It consists of the unique ID, file name, preview, original, as we have done basically under the Kotlin version. But we need to respect the protocol codable. Basically, we're going to decode from the JSON response to this structure image DTO. And we have to add here the coding keys related to this image DTO. In the future, we need to actually to define this or to make it thread safe. We're gonna see that. Let's define the rest of the DTOs. The next one is the preview or product preview DTO. Basically, it consists of the ID, title, category, price, and thumbnail, but we have a small problem here. From the JSON response, this could be double or string, and we have to specify here how to decode this particular JSON response. Therefore, I'm going to add here another constructor for this particular class in it from decoder. So we're going to decode the ID, the title, the category, but the price is a little bit tricky. Let's delete this one. And we have to make our own procedure. It could be a string or a double. And the most easiest one, in case if we have a double value. Let's initialize this by doing double price. In case of a double price, we're going to do here container and decode. Type here, it's double and self. And for the key, it's basically the price. In this case, we can assign the price from the value double price. For the other case, if it's failed to give us or to decode this particular value, And we can distinguish between here two cases. If we are able to get the string price or the string representation from the price by decoding key and providing the string type, or to access the conversion from the string representation. For the first case, we're gonna do if, let's assign the value to string and price equal try with the same manner, because basically it's going to throw an exception container and decode the string representation self, and the key is basically the price. In this case, what we have to do, let's store this value under double from string, which equal basically double. And we have to provide here in the arguments string price. We're going to assign the price to the value from double from price or double from string. And for the other case, let's just throw a simple exception of type decoding error, data corrupted error. Let's pass here the container and debug message. Let's do, for example, let's reformat first of all. And the message, let's do price value is not double or string. And we have provided basically the custom decoding for this product preview DTO, which is a little bit complicated, but it's basically airproof against the values from the JSON response. With the same manner, we're going to define the product DTO. And again, this has pretty much the same problem. We have the price as double, and we have to decode the rest. Therefore, going to create another constructor. Let's just copy this. We don't have the thumbnail. For the quantities, it's going to be very simple. For the description, with the same manner. And we have to decode the media. I'm going to do here media and or self and media equal try container and decode. The type here, it is an array of type media DTO, and the key is media. And I would like to add here a static function in order to initialize basically this product DTO. Let's call it empty, just for readability purposes. And that's all we have for the product DTO. We need to define the next DTO, which is the wishlist item DTO. This one is very easy, nothing substantial. And if you have noticed, for decoding keys, we have this key from the JSON response in order to respect the camel case. And for the record, if you have mismatched this one or this key, it won't be able to decode from the JSON response. Now we can safely create the user DTO because we have all the DTOs or the needed DTOs. It consists of the ID, name, email, email verified at, and wishlist, and the list of wishlists item DTO. I'm gonna add here a new function. It is basically a static function that's going to give us the instance just for readability purposes when we need to initialize this user DTO structure. If you do remember, under the Kotlin application, we have defined the wishlist response DTO as well as the login response DTO. It consists of in wishlist, the wishlist item ID, and the product DTO. And this is mandatory in our case. Why, you may ask? Because we need to cache first of all the data, and the caching of the data has to be done in the correct order to construct the needed relationship. Likewise, for the other one, which is login response DTO. For the login response DTO, it consists of the user and the token. For the record, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I highly suggest and recommend coming back to the Kotlin version and the web version to understand why we do that. Basically, under the Kotlin version, we have secured, encrypted the value of the token, saved the token in the database, and decrypt the token whenever we need to make our API call. Because under this particular two apps, it's not cookie-based authentication, it's a token or GWT token-based authentication. Under the product fragments, we need to handle the pagination. Therefore, create here a new folder, let's call it pagination, just to group, our DTOs under one single folder, and a new class or new structure for the pagination links DTO. It's going to be very simple. This is easy as well. Current page, from, last, and whatnot. And you have to respect basically what has been done under the JSON response or the resource file in Laravel. In Kotlin, we do that under serialized name, but here it's a little bit different. You need to do it here under the coding keys and respecting the protocol codable. It means interface. This is basically the terminology of Swift. Now we can create the pagination response DTO, generic type respecting the protocol codable. And the whole class should be codable. We have the data of type T, it's an array of type T, links and metadata. And we have to provide here the initializer, and the coding keys. Likewise, for search pagination response DTO, it consists of data, last page, and the type T, it has to respect the protocol callable. And I think that's pretty much it for today's video. For the next video, we're going to focus on the local package, defining the database, the entity, and the relationship. I hope you liked the video. See you in the next one, and happy coding.